Dandadan is finally here as an anime adaptation, bringing all the wild, supernatural action of the hit manga to life. And trust me, it's a must-watch. The animation? Top-notch. The voice acting? Perfectly on point. And the theme song? Absolute fire. But beyond the visuals and sound, Dandadan stands out for its hilarious mix of angsty, awkward comedy and a refreshingly real look at teenage self-discovery. It's like nothing you've seen before. Now, fair warning, this is one of those shows you don't want to judge by the first episode alone. If someone recommended it to you, they probably said the same thing. Stick with it because it just keeps getting better. Here are some of the wildest and craziest moments and facts so far in the anime. One of the wildest parts of this series has to be the bizarre interactions with the Turbo Granny and the Serpo aliens. It's not every day in a shonen series you see a ghostly granny asking for bananas, or aliens casually asking about eggs and sausages from minors like they were asking for something to eat for breakfast. Please take note that this anime is rated 15+. Screenshots of these scenes and clips with subtitles created social media buzz and were the main reason people got interested in the series. Speaking of these Serpo aliens, if you squint your eyes a bit, you'll notice how their human disguises had a close resemblance with Peter Griffin. Let's talk about one of the wildest scenes in anime right now, Okarun's epic transformation scenes. Our boy, Ken Takakura, who's better known as Okarun, kicks things off as your average nerd, but thanks to a little curse from Turbo Granny, he gets an intense power-up, turning him into what looks like a Ken Kaneki ripoff. And yes, fun fact, they share the same voice actor, so the comparison is spot on. Unlike Kaneki though, Okarun isn't craving flesh, just maybe a little depressed post-transformation. The manga gave us a glimpse of this epic form, but seeing it animated, that's on a whole new level. The animators really nailed his transformation from timid teen to full-on monster Giga Chad. The catch? He's got the power, but he lost something pretty important along the way, his banana. Alright, here's something wild about this anime that's catching the eyes of, let's say, fans of mature 2D ladies. Momo's grandma, Seiko, has become an unexpected fan favorite. Despite looking like a woman in her 20s, she's a granny. Now, most fans figured she'd be younger, but fans theorized she would be in the 60 to 80-year-old range. Basically, your classic Asian grandma, right? Enjoying it so far? Comment down what you thought was great in the anime so far. Then, there's that unforgettable scene in episode 4. Gotta love how Okarun dove in to, nibble on Turbo Granny. Yes, you heard that right. It wasn't just some quick rescue attempt. It was an unexpected and crazy move, all to save Momo, who was trapped in something fleshy and gross. You can notice Okarun's struggle and resolution. Let's talk about that insane chase scene. The animators went all out when the earthbound crab spirit started chasing down Okarun and Momo. Every moment was flawless, from Okarun's quick transformation to his attempt to turn himself into a makeshift helicopter, only to drop back to the ground a second later. Pure gold. But wait, there's an even crazier twist in this episode. Did you catch it? As Okarun and Momo dashed through the streets, regular people around them were watching and commenting on what looked like a sweet late-night piggyback ride. Yep, what we saw as Okarun's transformed state actually looked totally different to everyone else. Here is Okarun to the eyes of normal people. It was like stands in the JoJo series, not visible in the eyes of normal people. In Chapter 7 of Dandadan, things heat up when Momo and Okarun find themselves in a tight spot surrounded by the earthbound spirit crab and spirits from the cemetery called up by Turbo Granny. In the manga, we just see a quick glimpse of Okarun using his full speed to make a run for it. It was only shown on one page with a total of 4 panels, but the anime takes it up a notch. The animation sequence showed Okarun's run, complete with a cool tunnel vision effect and motion lines that really capture the intensity of the moment. Momo steps in with her powers, launching both of them into action. She even tosses a car at the giant crab to buy them some time to escape through the buildings. And how cool was it when Okarun hit full throttle with a familiar tune kicking in? They added a modernized version of Rossini's William Tell Overture, the one you usually hear during horse races. And just when you thought things couldn't get crazier, Turbo Granny pulls off a terrifying move, possessing the giant crab and challenging Okarun and Momo for one last chase. Momo didn't back down though. This is the great moment when Momo spots a bullet train, sparking the idea to use it for their getaway. Plus, she makes them float for a softer landing, which sets up a crucial emotional moment when she has to let go of Turbo Granny. something that's only mentioned in the manga. This added scene really highlights Momo's earlier words about trusting her and using their powers together. It shows that she's just as essential to their survival as Okuran is. Overall, this whole chase not only ramps up the action, but also showcases the chemistry and trust between them. And then, one of the most jaw-dropping moments of the episode. As Okuran and Momo approach the city border, they suddenly pass by a barrier set up by Seiko. In a flash, poof! Turbo Granny disintegrated right before our eyes. The animation was nothing short of spectacular, but there was one crucial detail that felt off. Originally, there was supposed to be a haunting scene featuring the bodies of female students scattered among the debris, creating a sad moment where Momo would witness them resting in peace if we based it on the manga. Instead, we only got a brief glimpse of this tragedy through Seiko's chilling explanation of the young lives lost in the city. What's even crazier is that Turbo Granny, despite her fierce exterior and notorious reputation, had a surprisingly kind heart. She was actually racing around the city trying to console the spirits of those young girls. It's a crazy twist that adds depth to her character and makes us rethink everything we thought we knew. The Ayase family, fresh from an intense battle with a crab spirit that nearly had them for dinner, suddenly gets the craziest craving for crabs. I mean, talk about irony, right? After facing a monster that wanted to munch on them, their first thought was to dig into some seafood. But wait, it gets even more interesting. Not only were they fixated on crabs, but they also couldn't resist the urge to investigate what was going on inside Okuran's pants. Seriously, what could possibly be in there? Did he really get his banana back? Also, isn't it wild how our interests can shift just because of someone we meet? Take Okuran, for example. This guy was an absolute alien fanatic, diving deep into the mysteries of the cosmos. But suddenly, his curiosity takes a turn. He's now eager to learn about spirits. And then there's Ayase, who was all about the spiritual realm. She only believed in spirits, but now she finds herself wanting to explore the alien world through Okuran's eyes. What's even crazier is that these two teenagers are completely oblivious to their growing feelings for each other. I mean, Okuran is one lucky guy. Meanwhile, our dear viewers are just sitting here, probably feeling a bit envious. But wait, it gets even more amusing. They just keep missing each other during lunch breaks at school. Like, how is that even possible? But just when you think they might never connect, fate steps in. Right before school lunchtime wraps up, they finally bump into each other, and out of nowhere, bam! They kiss! Talk about a surprise twist! If you listened carefully, it was an accidental bump and they hit each other's teeth. This detail is crazily good. Of course, after that moment, they're both in denial, trying to downplay what just happened in front of Momo and her friends. Oh, the drama! One of the unexpected moments was when Momo decided to whip out her psychic powers at school. She totally had enough of this girl talking trash about Okuran, so she channeled her inner superhero. With the power of love, she made a wash tub appear out of thin air and gave that pink-haired, bad-mouthing bitch a little taste of her own medicine. Also, please remember this pink-haired girl. Also, can you believe Okuran didn't even notice his balls were missing for a whole 12 hours? I mean, come on, guys usually feel those things all day. He only noticed it when he went to pee at school. Momo couldn't stop laughing at that. And get this, Turbo Granny was still inside Okuran. It's wild that she survived that explosion and somehow managed to slip right into him in no time. Seiko and Momo had to team up to pull her out and stick her into a cat doll. Hearing a pirate emperor's voice coming from a cute cat doll is just hilarious. Plot twist alert. So, Okuran still has Turbo Granny's powers even after she got yeeted out of him. And guess what? Turbo Granny was totally shocked by it. Seiko jumped in to explain that only Turbo Granny's consciousness got kicked out, leaving her spiritual powers behind in Okuran. Now, Okuran's got the kind of power you'd expect from a shonen hero. But of course, there's a catch. He had to give up his family heirlooms for it. They decided to negotiate with Turbo Granny to get those balls back, but the old spirits somehow just dropped them somewhere, like dropping a candy wrapper on the streets. After 4 episodes of wild paranormal shenanigans, episode 5, titled Where Are Your Balls?, finally reveals the main premise of this anime. Okuran and his crew are on a hilarious quest to track down his family heirloom. Dandadan was basically Finding Nemo, but Okuran's balls. How about you? What do you expect to see more in the Dandadan anime?